So in 2019, my wife and I went to a film premiere, which I thought was pretty cool, right? Because, I mean, what does a farmer ever do going to a film premiere? This one was at the Farm Progress Show. And it was a movie called Silo. And we really didn't know anything about it. We knew that it kind of had something to do with grain entrapment. But you know, when you have these movies that aren't the big Hollywood productions, you think, okay, all right, you know, it's going to be kind of neat. But I don't know if it's really going to have a story. I don't know if the acting's really going to be that good. We went, we were absolutely blown away. We had the producer, Sam Goldberg, on our podcast, and I'm thrilled that he's here today. How you doing, Sam?
I'm great. How you doing, Sharkey?
Okay, now when you made that film, or when you came up with the idea to make that film, were you living in New York?
I was living on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. That's actually where I grew up. I've been looking for an independent film to wrap my head around that I thought would be cool, unique, fun to make. I thought it'd be a New York City-based project, but I met a filmmaker from rural Tennessee, Marshall Burnett. He pitched me the idea for Silo. I honestly didn't know what a silo didn't know what a grain bin was. My closest experience to farming was, Trader Joe's. So initially, it was just an interesting idea for me.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you talk to farmers and you say grain entrapments, we know what it is. It's a horrible thing. It's affected every rural community, but it's something that's basically really only known inside the rural circle.
It goes south so quick.
Shut her! Shut it off! Shut it off!
There's been an accident. Code 3, 1024.
That's 1.5 million pounds of corn in there. There's a lot of pressure on that kid's lungs.
Standard procedure's gonna kill that kid!
Bring my son back to me!
And here you are, a producer, a movie producer from New York that wants to do a story that centers around that. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. You said you read the script and it kind of said something to you. I mean, were you able to connect with how tragic these grain entrapments are?
I would say between initially hearing about the idea in 2014 and beginning to really care was almost 2 years for me. It was very theoretical at first. I thought it'd make for an interesting movie, a thrilling movie, because it would be a rescue operation, something unique to portray in film. But then I did a research and development trip in early 2016 to a small farm town in rural Indiana, a town called Rising Sun. And I just think farmers are the nicest people I've ever met consistently across the board. And then I started talking to them about farm safety and mental health awareness, grain entrapments, and like you said, every community is affected by some farm-related accident. It's across the. So once I realized that was the case, it kind of tapped into the empathy side of me, wanting to get to know people, wanting to help the community, and then it was easier to make the movie because, as I mentioned, we were pitched the idea in 2014. It's 2021 now. It's almost 7 years. So if you're going to stick with a project that long, you got to have some oomph, you got to have some passion. And the passion came from the.
This was a good movie. I mean, you got some really good actors. How'd you convince actors of that skill talent to do a smaller movie like this?
The script was really good. Our screenwriter, Jason Williamson, is ridiculously talented. He grew up in a small town in North Carolina. He had it in his blood. His grandparents were farmers. And I think the script spoke to people. So when they read it, they it's got to be good. They say you can make a bad movie out of a good script, but you can't make a good movie out of a bad script. So the script was the first thing. And then one of my friends from college, Emer, she's a casting director. She does casting for movies. And she put her name behind Silo. And if it weren't for her, I doubt we would have gotten such good actors.
It was released in a different kind of way, right? You weren't going to go to AMC and watch this. How have people been watching it?
So since you first saw the movie at Farm Progress Show, I think it was August 27th, you came to our screening. We did this community screening campaign where individual community organizers could license the film from us with an educational curriculum. Our team would help them put on and host an event. And that was at high school auditoriums in conjunction with the FFA, at firehouses with volunteer departments, at Farm Bureau meetings, and at local movie theaters and art centers. And we just did these one-time events that were all about fortifying community, getting people to talk about issues that sometimes are a little under the surface in ag and that aren't as maybe prevalent year-round. And so Silo just became a bridge between subjects community leaders wanted to discuss and discussing it with their constituents and their farmers and everybody else in their rural area. The silo I always saw as a bridge in that way, and I didn't know how it would go when we launched that initiative, but since you and I talked for the first time almost a year and a half ago, more than a year and a half ago now, I think we've had over like 800 requests. We've done over 250 screenings. It's been a pretty cool grassroots initiative.
Yeah, you're very good at making a movie. Unfortunately, your timing sucks with COVID. It couldn't have been any worse. So tell us the status now. If people want to see it, what do they do?
So we're blessed in that we have a product that still can work digitally, you know? And so we've moved most of our community screenings online. And if you go to silothefilm.com, Silo is readily available pretty much anywhere you could try and watch it now. If you watch from the comfort of your home, you can go to our website and tap into community resources about farm safety, grain entrapment, bringing the community together. So we want to keep the community thing going, even though people can't physically be in a movie theater all the time together. Mm-hmm. And we want to continue to be that glue with Silo as an entertaining and educational vehicle.
You made a great movie, and as rural America, I thank you for it. Little teaser, maybe? You going to do more in the future?
Well, first of all, thank you. And, working with you and Emily and your team has been a pleasure, because without you, nobody even knows the film exists. We have a couple other ideas. One in particular we're already developing about dairy farming. I think people are going to be pretty excited about. Silo has been an unbelievable experience personally and professionally. It's been very exciting for my personal life. I'm calling from Brooklyn right now with our new film distributor, Oscilloscope, at our back. They're an amazing film company. Mm-hmm. My wife and I recently moved to an old farm in rural Pennsylvania, so I'm all in now. I put my money where my mouth is.
I want to thank you. It means something to the rural community to have our stories out there in a movie like this. So thank you very much. Sam Goldberg, go check out the movie Silo. Believe me, it's an important issue to rural America, and it's a good movie. Sam, thank you very much.
Thanks, Sharky. Talk to you soon.
This segment has been presented by Golden Harvest.
Thanks for spending some time with us here on SharkFarmer TV. For more stories about people in agriculture, catch my shows on Rural Radio Channel 147 Sirius XM. There's more in-depth discussions on my podcast, and of course, you can check out previous episodes of this show on my YouTube channel. Find out more at sharkfarmer.com.